Yesterday here in the program, we did basically wall-to-wall coverage of Donald Trump and Israel. Coverage on Real America's Voice began at 2 a.m. We carried it all the way through to the end of the program yesterday. So historic to watch all of those deals being made. President Trump and Israel, when hostages were released, then flying to Egypt to witness the signing of those documents. And what's remarkable, one of the most outspoken, in fact, I believe she's Palestinian. Rashida Tlaib, right? She's Palestinian, if I'm not mistaken. Not a peep. Crickets. Joining me now, Katie Heid, the Michigan News Source Assistant News Director. Katie, nice to have you back on the program.
Thank you, and I'm glad you did wall-to-wall coverage because it was certainly deserving.
It is deserving. Today I saw, I couldn't believe it. I woke up, you read the headlines when you get up to do the program. Joe Biden and Antony Blinken taking credit for the Gaza deal. I'm like, really?
And Hillary Clinton. Oh, no, they took credit, but I'm saying, sorry, I spoke too soon. Yeah, there were some people taking credit for it. I don't know how you look at the news that's come out and give anyone credit other than President Donald Trump, for sure.
Yeah, in his team, Steve Witkoff, Marco Rubio, all of the folks in his inner circle that made that happen. Anyhow, Rashida Tlaib, where is she?
Yeah, paging progressive politicians, right? Where are they? And she is a Palestinian. She's the only Palestinian member of Congress. Rashida Tlaib has been extremely outspoken about what she calls the atrocity in Gaza and the warring that has affected her community. But the facts also show, Steve, that she's anti-Semitic. She could not even answer a reporter's question 2 years ago when Hamas invaded Israel and took all those hostages. She couldn't even say that she was against Hamas coming in there and murdering Israelis, that she couldn't even make a comment on babies being thrown into ovens in front of their mothers. And she's been radio silent on this historic deal that is good for her people as well. She hasn't said anything. And I went and I checked through this morning as well to make sure that she hadn't said anything, whether through a formal press release or her social media, and nothing. And that gets us to Michigan's leaders as well, if you want to hear what I found on their comments.
Sure, go ahead. Absolutely.
So Attorney General Dana Nessel, she's the top law enforcement officer in this state, and she's a Jewish woman. Nothing. I didn't find anything officially from her office or on her social media accounts attributing this great win to President Donald Trump, or even acknowledging that this has happened for these people. So she has been silent on that. She has not been silent on the fact that she might bring yet another lawsuit. She's brought dozens against the Trump administration because she doesn't want the National Guard here in Michigan. So she did comment on that. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, I didn't see anything officially from her, whether a press release or on her social media accounts. And she has worked with President Trump. She has been vocal about that. Nothing. She did have a press release on free breakfast and lunch for school kids in Michigan, and she acknowledged Indigenous Peoples Day. Had not received the memo.
Which, by the way, hold on. There is no such thing. There's Columbus Day.
She did not get the memo.
Yeah. Columbus Day, I mean, Donald Trump signed an executive order declaring it Columbus Day. That's true. By the way, back to the deal in Gaza, Bill and Hillary Clinton, they said good job.
Right,
Morning,
and
Joe.
that's where I thought you were going at the beginning. Yes, Hillary Clinton said that, and I thought, oh my goodness, what looking glass have we stepped through?
Hell hath frozen over. Let's see here. Morning, Joe, MSNBC. They said good job. So, I mean, here we are. It's remarkable. They can't say anything. Positive.
Can we just talk about, I'm so sorry, Steve. Can we just talk about being a human? I don't know how you look at the atrocities that have happened there in the last 2 years, and to watch those reunification videos yesterday and not just have a human reaction to say, what an incredible thing this is, and nothing, silence. I just can't get over that as a member of the human race.
I agree with you on that. All right, let's shift gears. Of course, so we'll have to see if they are human or not. Let's shift gears a little bit. Down in Dearborn, 9,000 voters getting a second ballot after in the mail after city officials sent out absentee ballots listing a man who isn't even running for city council. A mistake there. What do you make of that?
Well, they have to correct the error and they have to do it by November 4th. It looks like they're doing that. So 9,000 ballots isn't anything to just wave off and say it's not a big deal. They've had to mail them out again with a correction because what happened is they listed a city council candidate on the initial ballot that has dropped out of the race for city council. And so people receiving those would think he's still on the ballot, perhaps cast a vote for him. The city clerk said, this is a mistake. We're sending it out. You should receive a new ballot that has an update on it in their mailboxes sometime this week. But critics of mail-in voting has said this is yet another problem that this whole early voting, mail-in voting is causing. And so they're trying to correct that error. They've insisted that this is not going to affect the outcome of the election, but I don't know how you make a prediction like that.
Right. All right. And yeah, I don't know either. Last thing is this. Back to Dana Nessel. Preparing for a possible Trump invasion of Michigan. By the way, Rasmussen just released a poll, shows well over half of all Americans support the National Guard going into D.C., going into Chicago, going into Memphis, going into New Orleans, and all these other places that are just crime-ridden, Portland as well. Apparently that memo didn't get through to the state lawmakers at the top of the heap in Michigan either.
A lot of missed memos this week, Steve.
Apparently.
But if you go and you look at videos and news coverage on the interwebs and you sidestep mainstream media, you see the people in Memphis and Chicago saying, thank you, President Trump. We can feel safe in our communities. Crime is getting dealt with. And so to be the top law enforcement officer in a state and say, we're not going to prioritize getting rid of crime, it's just a bad look. And the phrase Trump derangement syndrome gets thrown around. I don't know how you say you're not going to work with an administration to help rid your community, rid your state of crime. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. I'm going to check here. I do this fairly often. I'm just going to check my AI news source here just for a quick second. The last time I looked, there had been 13 homicides in Washington, D.C. since August 11th. That is apparently the same. 13 homicides since the 11th of August in Washington, D.C. Annualized, that would be less than 70 a year. There have been less than 70 homicides in Washington, D.C. in my lifetime. What he's done has worked. What he's done, there's been big stretches where there's no murders at all. 13, it's the middle of October. And so that's pretty remarkable that that place has been cleaned up. Same thing in Memphis, like you mentioned. I would take the help here if we could get it. Katie, I'll give you the last word.
Absolutely. You want your constituents to be safe. And if the local police can't handle it, because I think there's a numbers issue and obviously a lot of animosity towards law enforcement in general over the last couple of years, they're short on manpower and they are wanting the help. And so when you don't have enough people to do the job or it isn't getting done because of bad leadership, then that's when the feds step in. So I don't know why anybody would oppose this, but we've got politics at play, evidently.
Politics at play every day. Katie Heid, MichiganNewsSource.com. You can find her work and other great work as well. MichiganNewsSource.com, my news company. Proud of it, proud of Katie, proud of the work that they do there. Katie, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Great cutting-edge work there. MichiganNewsSource.com. Check that out. And when we come back, Ivy will be here. You should check that out, too. Don't go anywhere.